Good morning, everyone. It's great to be here, and it looks like it's going to be a fabulous 2 days agenda. I'm really privileged to call retail my profession and my passion, having been in the business for over 25 years. And as you heard earlier on, I've worked in PLCs, private companies, I've done turnarounds, I've done business growth, all really great for building incredible experience. There's one common theme across all the businesses that I've run, and that's fundamentally that customers live and shop differently now, and retail has changed exponentially during this time, and it will continue to do so given that we rule our lives with mobiles. For those of you that don't know much about Karen Millen, and I'm going to use Karen Millen today as my case study, Karen Millen was started with an initial investment of £100 of 100 metres of white cotton, and was bought by the founding partners, Karen and Kevin, to the market in terms of selling shirts to friends. Soon they developed a party plan network, and in 2004 they sold the business to Kaupthing, the Icelandic bank, which owned it until we sold to Boohoo in August. By the time I joined, we had 500 shops across 57 countries in 6 continents, across digital and physical spaces. Quite a complex business. So what was Karen Millen? What were the founders' aspirations? So inspired by couture, and if you think back to 1981, you had the C&As and the Marks and Spencers, and you had the Gucci's and the Pradas, and there was very, very few premium, hardly any actually, in that space at that time. So Karen's mission was to create distinctive style-led workwear pieces for women of all ages. And these women were collectively united by an attitude of mind. They sought clothes that were beautiful to the eye, sensual to the touch, flattering in fit. And there was no other high street brand in the UK like it. Karen Millen's DNA was one of unapologetic confidence, and in the 90s the brand was celebrated for its uniqueness. The energy in the brand was cult-like, and the campaign statements reflected this, as you can see here. Marketing campaigns were really simple. A seasonal placed brand marketing campaign endorsed by celebrities who wore the clothes, to help drive brand credibility. In 2016, Karen Millen was still investing most of its marketing budget in traditional, static brand marketing campaigns. Mobile phones have changed, as I mentioned before, the way we live and shop. People move seamlessly across digital and physical channels, and it should be our obsession to embed data and technology at the epicenter of our businesses to deliver great customer experiences. So in 2016, still in analog behaviour mode, we tore up the Karen Millen traditional marketing rulebook in order to succeed as a credible digital player with mobile first, our obsession. Today, the customer is king. The landscape in fashion, especially in the premium sector, is crowded. And on this basis, you have to go back to the beginning, which is understanding the marketing size and opportunity. In recent years, Karen Millen had shifted its focus, a somewhat introverted business, not looking at the external landscape, but just focusing on what they did well. But we were catering to the smallest segment of women in our market, a 5.2 million woman opportunity in the UK. And with deeper data, we pressed reset to start building a strategy that maximised our opportunity in the larger customer segments. We took our understanding a step further with customer focus groups to build out more detailed profiles. Who is she? How does she live her life? What does she want? Drilling into the detail of our addressable market revealed a much larger opportunity to increase our lower penetration, in particular lapsed customers that had shopped with us previously. And of course, any chart like this, the financial guys in the business are going to like, because you can prove a point as to if you address your marketing, your product ideas into that area, you're going to grow your sales and profit. The other thing we did for the business, it was very introverted, as I mentioned before. When I joined, they talked about the client. And I said, well, who is the client? We got right into the heart of building customer profiles for the teams, anyone that touched product, including the serviced areas like the digital channels and the stores. And we had 3 very clear, dominant customer profiles, all similar in their attitude, but all subtly different. So meet Brooke, a confident woman with a sophisticated sense of style. She's actually our most important customer because she's got a high disposable income and she spends a lot of money, but she's quite a small mix. Meet Emma. So Emma would have about 10 years ago bought Karen Millen the whole time, but her lifestyle's changed and she mixes it with Zadig and Voltaire and whistles, and she's more casual. So she buys Karen Millen for very special pieces. And then there was Megan. Megan's just starting out in her career. She loves Karen Millen. She'd wear Karen Millen head to toe. She follows influencers, she follows celebrities. But again, she's buying pieces potentially in the sale and one-off pieces when she's going out for a special occasion because she can't afford to buy Karen Millen head to toe. But she's a valuable customer to keep in the future because as her career develops, she'll be buying more of the business. The other thing we did is we went right back to the culture of the business. And when you've got 500 shops in many different countries and you have the cultural nuances that you do in your international locations, it's really important to make sure that there's a thread of culture that runs through the business where you're all aligned and you're aligned to your customer. So we actually got a team of people together across our international territories, from people that were fairly junior in their roles right up to the senior leadership team. And they were called the voice of our customer. And they were the ones that rebuilt our values and purpose. And so our values and purpose spoke in a language that resonated with our customers. Step up and stand out. Bring your heart and soul to work. She's in charge. Get in her head, her heart, and her heels if you can. Straight to the point. Being clear gets things done. And then finally, play to win. We're faster, bolder, and stronger together if we're going to win big. And we did workshops, and it was incredibly powerful once we'd unleashed these culture and values, how we use them. We use them in our conversations for training. We use them in our conversations, our performance review conversations. We use them when we spoke to each other. It really meant that we were totally aligned in a language to our customers. The other thing we did is we built a brand purpose. So if Karen Millen, which was by then 37 years old, if it was going to be fit for the future, we had to reevaluate and modernise our brand purpose. So Karen Millen's brand purpose in the modern era, 2016, was creating confidence through distinction. That's what we do. We make our customers feel confident in the way that they wear our clothes, and distinctive in that they can feel very comfortable if they're going to a board meeting, if they don't want to stand out, but they can be very distinctive if they're going to a wedding and their ex-boyfriend's there and they want to stand out. We then put a muse together, so our ideal Karen Millen customer, which resonated with our brand purpose. And this was a very important creative piece for anyone touching product or creative content, and again was well used through the business. We went a step further. We actually did a 7-day, 24-hour day in the life of Karen, and we brought her typical week to life. And you won't be surprised to hear her typical week wasn't a typical week. She was very busy doing different things the whole time. The other thing is we took her personality a step further, and we used word clouds to create things that would really resonate with her. So career-orientated, loves life. She's busy, very. When we put our commercial roadmap together with a new customer focus in mind, we had 3 areas we said we were going to focus on that had to have a common thread in the line: product, marketing, and the channels. And with our extensive customer data, these strategic pillars really formed the commercial roadmap where we built out our 4-year plan. In addition, further research into our addressable market revealed important trends such as dress sense, purchase habits, drivers, and more subtle external emphasis on how they make their purchase decisions. We put CRM at the heart of our strategy and our roadmap because our overarching ambition was we had to survive a customer-led business, planning and executing marketing communications and customer experiences aligned to our customer life cycles. In conjunction, we had an external partnership because we had lots of systems, and I think it's an issue that many traditional businesses have been going for a while have. They have legacy systems that don't talk to each other. So we worked with a partnership where we could bring all our customer data together across all our different technologies to give a single view of the customer in order to accelerate our customer insight, drive actionable data, and more effective marketing campaigns in real-time communications. Single view of our customers gave us a much stronger framework in which to measure customer retention, reactivation, acquisition KPIs too. And unlike the static brand campaigns of prior to 2016, our seasonal marketing framework, which we created, you can see here, allowed us to create different narratives at different levels across multiple channels, with more targeted stories and campaigns and relevant to our international territories too. So this framework allowed our franchise partners and our licensing partners to work to this across their channels, but the thread was it spoke in the Millen language. Not only did we have word cloud personalities for our customers, but we created one for our marketing campaigns as well, so that any of our teams touching the creative content were again talking in a consistent language. So the tone of voice was embedded in that our narratives were friendly, dynamic, and interesting. We were her friend, her personality, and an authentic brand she could trust in all our messaging. This enabled us to identify how we were going to use tone of voice across different channels as well. So you can see here as an example how we'd use it in social versus email versus static in stores and windows as well. But each one had a theme, but its own sense of purpose. And with a clear brand structure, we were able to build much more exciting and relevant content across all our omni-channels, giving our teams and our partners, as I mentioned before, freedom to create real-time stories within a brand and customer framework. As a fashion brand, campaign photography still has an important role to play, but with our mobile-first focus, we shifted our efforts from generating a seasonal campaign, which was fairly static, to daily creative assets to tell brand stories in real time across our channels. We also use celebrity and influencer outreach as well, enabling us to build brand awareness and drive consideration through association, inspiration, and authenticity. This is a great example of how, if you think about our 3 different dominant customer profiles, you can take a story and tell it in very different ways so that you are talking to your audiences. So we had a licensed partnership with Ascot, and here we are very much talking to Brooke, who's our most discerning fashionata customer. And this is actually an Ascot dress, which she's looking a bit SJP, walking through the street. She's a far more urban customer. But you can see here, the dress looked totally different than it would if she was wearing a sort of a hat and dressed up for Ascot. For our other customers, so perhaps Megan, we used far more traditional dress through our influencers to talk about the event. And actually, Both of them drove the product, but in very different ways and appealing to the different customers. By 2018, so last year, our digital channels represented just over 30% of our sales mix, which is why building a roadmap to improving a seamless customer journey has also been one of our key strategies. Not only did we put mobile first in terms of our strategic pillars, we put digital first. And embedding digital first into an organisation that started up as bricks and mortar takes a bit of time, but you have to make any channel feel that digital is part of our customers' lives now, which is why the store guys have to embrace it as well. The reason being that not only is she shopping like that, but certainly from the data and the research that we could see at Karen Millen, anyone that was an omni-channel customer was actually 3 times more valuable than one of our single channel customers. And by drilling into the online customer journey, we've been able to identify clunky pinch points. So we test and fix, which in turn improves optimization. So not only did we have digital at the heart of our business, we had innovation, IT and technology as well. And in actual fact, we made our IT director our project manager so that she was working commercially with the teams to fix the problems, not just some that you went to when it went wrong. She was helping building out the strategies. And I think that shift in her responsibility in the business had a really great effect in getting everyone behind the customer journey and the routes and the IT fixes to making that possible. So the clarity around our digital roadmap has supported building out the right developments as well. So not only did we have a digital roadmap in terms of CapEx investments where we were going to put our money into improving things or developing things, we also, it completely changed the way Pratibha actually recruited her IT team. They weren't just sort of fixers, they were innovators as well. And the value of our digital channels gave us a real focus on how we could improve and connect our physical customer experiences. In 2018, last year, we also launched something called Project Styling. Project Styling was about training our guys in stores to be the best storytellers, the best style experts, the best product knowledge people to go to for our customers. This also helped stores not only embrace digital, but really think about how you can use all your technologies and channels together to create great, amazing experiences face-to-face with your customers in stores. And to do that, we partnered with a company called Mirko. It's a tablet that actually allows you to plug all your systems into one tool. So we had all our marketing and PR activity. We had all our store conversational apps. We had all our product and ranging ideas. And it allows our stylists straight away to start talking to the customers about building outfit ideas, showing which celebrities and influencers have been using those products, looking for items. In fact, we took it a step further, and if a customer walked out and said they didn't want to buy their outfit that day, we could then email them the outfit they discussed, so perhaps later at home online, they'd go and buy the outfit. And we saw the most incredible results in terms of conversion, of footfall in stores to buying, but also average basket value as well. It was an amazing tool that actually really empowered our store stylists. And you can see here some of the results. It actually had a halo effect to our social channels as well and our content. As part of our customer experience across channels, the other area that we wanted to look at was returns and the exit journey. And I think, you know, when businesses have the conundrum of where does the customer journey start and stop? Well, actually, it should never stop. It should be cyclical and should keep coming back. But one of the areas in our business that we had to really focus on was the help desk and the back end of the customer experience. And you can see here from the pie chart that returns actually and delivery, just really simple things, were some of our biggest areas. So we built a roadmap to really try and fix how we could self-resolve those elements of the issue online, but also who people would go to. And the reason why that was really important is because you have a product team and a digital team based in London, then you have a logistics team based in Oxford, and you have a help centre based in Glasgow. And we just wanted to make sure that those remote locations were all completely joined up together so that the customer experience and the end part of her journey was very seamless. We did a lot, as you can tell, put a lot of investment into improving brand and content and channels and bringing them all together. And one of the things that I felt it was very important to do was to make sure that we could measure how we were doing. Not only to say, are we a brand that's growing, do customers like what we're doing, but also that we could go back and reinvest in key areas. So we built this quarterly customer dashboard to give us customer, product, marketing, and teams visibility to how we were doing. And the other great thing about this dashboard was it looked at how the different channels were interconnecting with each other as well, so that we could actually measure the customer experience across her total journey. The great thing about this dashboard and having customer data at the heart of our business was that we were able to, this is just an example, we were able to help and support other areas as well. So in the product categories, because we were trying to move the brand on and develop new categories and new product ideas and modernise some of the things that we did, we were able to drill into which retained customers are buying products, and are our new customers buying the same products, or are they looking for slightly different things? This was an incredible tool which we used once a month to review to really help the product and merchandising teams build the right ranges, develop the right product descriptions, but also buy the right quantities as well. Again, we're putting a lot of investment into social, and sometimes social is really difficult to measure. If you're, a finance department saying, right, show me the return. What's the return on investment? So in actual fact, we put other measures in place. So we had a monthly marketing report that could look at, if we were moving away from traditional marketing, how all the other channels that we were investing in were working together. And again, how we could use those more and develop them. And then finally, and just thinking about that customer journey, we put delivery KPIs, built them into our business as well. So the logistics team had a set of KPIs they worked to. The Glasgow team at the help desk had a set of KPIs, and our internal IT and project team were working. And again, when you have those measures and you build them across different departments, it's really powerful because you're all working together as one. So, what did I learn in my 3 years at Karen Millen, just completely shifting the way that we think and scrapping our traditional marketing legacy? The things I think we learned were establishing a real understanding and a customer connection is absolutely key. If you don't know who your customers are, then you might be irrelevant in the market. The digital era and new marketing methods will continue to evolve at a rapid pace, and so should we. So that was just the beginning of our journey. We had a 5-year IT and digital roadmap. Developing omni-channel brands, if you are a bricks and mortar retailer, has significant customer value driver advantages in terms of value and size. Brand authenticity means consistent brand stories across channels, and that can become quite complex when you're talking multiple channels and you have to talk content in slightly different ways. Frequency of brand stories boosts brand visibility in real time. Embedding analytics at the epicenter of any business is absolutely key, it's an imperative. A CRM program and tapping into emotional loyalty pays dividends, and it doesn't always have to be about price. I think personalization and really refining how you speak to certainly the 3 different Karen Millen customers that we saw in very different ways, again, started to pay dividends as well. Database can help ranging, pricing, and it enables us to link customer insight and sales and profit growth tangibly. Stores still have an amazing place as part of the customer journey, but they need love and attention. It needs to be an experience. And I think that's where you can really invest in your store teams to help make that happen. And talking of store teams, your colleagues in any business are your biggest brand ambassadors. Unleash them to realise the true benefits, because they walk tall and they sing your brand and they represent your customers. Thank you very much. Questions?
Thank you, Beth. That was fascinating. Stay there. Got a couple of questions for you. That really was a fascinating talk. Now, I can see you're getting the hang of this app thing, so that's fantastic. We've got a few questions. You can imagine what I will geek out about that talk was that customer dashboard. That was absolutely amazing. But a couple of questions. Well, first of all, we have one from Hannah Spicer. You created both a muse and customer personas. How did you ensure each department, such as marketing, design, and so on, understood the difference? And which did they keep in mind? And which did they keep in mind in their day-to-day decisions?
Gosh, so three different customer profiles. The muse actually was more like Brooke. That was the ultimate customer. But again, when we were ranging, we were thinking about the things that. So Megan, for example, that is slightly less disposable income. We were thinking about great basics that she could come to Karen Millen for, and there'd be a price association. So that might be the bottom of the price architecture. Brooke, who was the most affluent, but also the most stylish. We had a range called the Atelier range. So a lot of the product we did there, very expensive price points, were focused at her. So actually the product, the range building, the collection building was very easy to do, because actually the moment you've created customer profiles, when you're going through the collection, you can actually say, well, actually, which customer's going to wear that? But it also helps you test and learn new things as well. From a content point of view, actually talking to those customers, we spoke to them in the same way, because at the end of the day, Karen was our muse, and the brand wanted to represent one thing. So that's why we went for 3 very clear profiles. We actually had about 7 different profiles, but it's impossible for a business of our size, a £200 million business, to get too complicated. But 3 certainly had a common thread, but were quite distinctive. Does that answer the question?
I think so, yes, thank you. Another one, I mean, it actually struck me that, getting buy-in, because you were there for 3 years as CEO, and obviously you were leading the team, but getting buy-in from across the business is often a challenge when you're completely turning around sort of the way you do marketing and so on, and become more data-driven. And we have a question which sort of ties into that, really. Amazing to see the brand work you did at Karen Millen, but how long did it take, and who led the work? So who was sort of responsible in the organisation for the data analysis you were doing and the whole...
Okay. One of the things I always do when I start a new business, and the last couple of businesses I've done are in turnaround, is I ask all our colleagues, what do you want me to stop, start and continue? And then you go back to them and say, that's what you said, that's what I'm going to do. So the moment you do that, you're empowering the organisation, because they've told you what you want, what they want you to change. The other thing I actually changed the leadership team. So 50% of my leadership team were new, and it was really helpful having new cultural values, because you can recruit people based on those values. And then finally, we wrote the 4-year plan together, and I don't believe when you're in turnaround there's any such thing as over-communication. I think you've got to just keep communicating what your roadmap is and what you're trying to do, and communicating the results as well. And I think in that way, not only do you set out a very clear roadmap, but you are able to get everyone on the journey. So they're all, I call it, you're on the bus and you're paying, you're not on the bus as a freeloader. Everyone had to buy into it. And it did mean that some people went as well. But I think that's the way I've learnt to get traction very quickly on a strategic journey.